let's move on to Hickstead, because that's a very big part of probably the biggest thing that you've won in your career. You didn't have a great week leading up to it. Can you just recount the memories of that week before we talk about the fabulous win?
Yeah, the week leading up to it just wasn't an inspiring week. I mean, WB actually jumped really well there, and then I qualified a horse for the Speed Derby, and unfortunately that didn't go according to plan, and we were out by the second fence. And to be honest, I took it very personally, because I thought it was one chance I had and it didn't work out according to plan. And you know, I've been working here all my life, working hard and trying to get a break, and then this happened. And then, like, you know, in show gym, it's like any sport, when things go wrong, people point fingers. And like, you know, I heard back that people said maybe I couldn't handle the pressure and I wasn't good enough to ride at this level. So like, on a personal sense, going into the Derby on the Sunday, I was pretty down out. But I think that when I worked WB that morning, he worked really well, and WB and I always had a very personal relationship. And for some strange reason, as a young horse, I picked him out, and I always said this was the horse who was going to make or break my career. And thankfully, on that Sunday in June, he did.
The build-up to the Derby, as far as WB was concerned, to me, everything was falling into place. He had jumped in the Derby last year. We were absolutely thrilled. He went around for 3 fences down, and Paul gave him a great ride, and the horse took to the track. And then he went to Hamburg earlier, and he did another Derby. And then the walk that Paul and I did with him during the week at Hickstead, we did our little bits. And I don't want to sound big-headed, but I was very relaxed and unbelievably confident. I don't know why, maybe, but it's just things were falling into place. I wasn't confident that we were going to win the Derby, but it was going out on live television, and I was very confident that the horse and rider were going to put up a creditable performance.
I'll never forget the build-up to it. We finished warming up at 2:15, and I was to be in the arena for 2:36. I was the first horse to go, and for the next 15 minutes I just worked him on the flat, and I just kept thinking about the round I was going to ride, and kept thinking of everywhere I was going to be in that round, and kept working the canters and just trying to build myself and the horse with trust and confidence that when I went in the arena, the whole occasion, everything wasn't going to get to me. So I went in there tunnel vision, and everything, touching wood, is the one and only round in my life that everywhere I planned, everything I wanted, everything came off for me, and he was just amazing on the day.
Can you remember every fence?
Every single fence. I could talk you through the whole round. I mean, everything. Like, I think the first fence he jumped it and he landed into this fantastic balance, and then every fence I went for, I kept going for the posts, and what fences had posts on them, and then trying to be centre in the middle. And my biggest thing, what really worked for me, was I trusted him to jump him, but he more than anything else, he trusted me to place him at the fences. So like, I mean, that's where we didn't overuse our energy too much, because it all happened in a nice rhythm, and he just kept jumping from fence to fence, and it was just a dream. It was like, if it was anything, it was like going across the country out hunting. I mean, everything was just working, everything fell into place, and it didn't actually feel like the Hickstead Derby. Everything was just happening for me.
When he was going in for the second round, I was totally confident. I don't know why, but I think, like, I've spent so long at the practice fence with all the kids that when the practice fence walks the way you want it, and the rider is riding the way you'd like to see it, I think you have a great chance.
Well, definitely the most memorable fence was the coming to the Devil's Dyke. When I was coming to Devil's Dyke, I must have been 10 or 15 strides away from it, and I was riding him in a double bridle, and I just barely touched him with my baby fingers on the curb rein just to adjust him a little bit, and he just rose up in front of me, and next minute, from that distance out, there was a stride waiting for me. And that was the most memorable, because I had to sit and wait for about 10, 15 strides out from it, and just keep waiting for that stride. And I trusted him to jump, and then he just was absolutely fantastic through it. And that stuck out like an unbelievable, because it was like slow motion the whole way to that fence.
If you looked at the way he used himself at the first fence against the clock, it was interesting. It was amazing for me, because as a 3-year-old, when I gave him his first jump, and I came out of the little indoor school, and I said to the lads, we have a superstar. That was the way that he used himself that very day. But it took us 10 years for him to to give it to us again, which might sound peculiar, but he was that type of horse. He was very, very difficult to accept being ridden.
No, it is, like I say, it was incredible, and I didn't realise it until I was being interviewed that it was the first horse ever to jump that was actually went clear. But to be honest with you, that was the furthest thing away from my mind, going around that track of fences, and I think it was just as it turns out, it was extra special to make history in the Derby. I mean, it's just to be up there with the elite of riders. I mean, it's just an honour.